Coming up on 3 in, 3 out. Sure, we did get our butts whipped down at Baltimore. What Seahawk is turning into an absolute monster? On the flip side, is there a second-year Seahawk who is kind of officially now in a sophomore slump? While it was mostly bad against the Ravens, there were some shining moments and a new kid on the block showed out in a big way. We got your ins, we got your outs on 3 in, 3 out, part of the Seahawkers podcast network. Make sure you stick around to the end so you get to the From the Flock section. Your ins, your outs, they are awesome. We got a job to do on 3 in, 3 out, so let's get to it now. Welcome in, welcome once again to the newest edition of 3 in, 3 out, the most unique Seahawks recap show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. Brandon, much like our Seahawks, I had a little bit of a hiccup out of the gate there. A little stutter, a little muff, a little fumblerooski as we got going on this 3 in, 3 out. We took a licking, and it's still a hurting, Brandon. 37-3 a couple days later. I'm trying to forget about it. However, I haven't forgotten. It's seared into my memory that the whooping we just took. But it is a couple days later. How are you feeling a couple days removed from that beatdown in Baltimore?
Yeah, it's a rough one for all of us. So, see, you can't even quite get my name out of your mouth at the beginning of the show, or figure out who I am or where you are, or is this real life? It's difficult for us all.
It really is. Is this just fantasy, Brandon? We shall find out, right? Either way, we're caught in a landslide of our Seahawks getting, like we said, getting whooped, and with 3 in, 3 out. You know what? We still got homework to do. That's the deal. Come hook or come crook, win, loss, draw. We have a show to do. The show must go on. We're still going to go through the micro moments, and believe it or don't, in a 37-3 whooping, there was still some gems in this thing. So at the very least, Brandon, this will be cathartic. I'm still struggling with my words here. This will be cathartic. We're going to get
helpful,
to it. Hey,
instructive.
It'll be helpful,
emotionally beneficial.
At least for me. Let's hit that first whammy, please. Let's get to this first out. And of course, folks, this is a part of the Seahawkers Podcast Network, 5 shows a week. Get out there on youtube.com/Seahawkers Podcast. Give a follow, become a member of the flock, subscribe, like, say hello on Twitter, do all the things. Most importantly, after a game like this, share this with fellow 12s, because we need the Hawkra to be raised. This could have been 6 outs, but again, we stuck to the assignment. However, Brandon, here we are. Out number 1. We're going to start early in this game. I kind of have to. Unfortunately, I think every one of my ins and outs, except for 1, 5 of 6, are in the first half.
Yeah. Well, when you're doing your homework and you really want to get through it quickly, you watch the game from the start, and once you get to, 10 outs to choose from, it makes the assignment easier, right? Well, now I just have to narrow it down to 3, and we're not even through the second quarter.
Yeah, the last thing is an in, and it's early third quarter. Let's put it that way, which made the assignment easier to
because it took you that long to find a third in. This makes complete sense now.
It does. There was a lot more outs we could have chosen, but we're here on the first one. It is early. It is Q1, 13:41 to go, 0-0 ball game. It's our first drive. It's 3rd and 4. This is actually a nice play. I do not like what I saw from Waldron. We in general, as we get into this first out, when we blitz the Ravens, they hit Andrews or Zay or somebody over the middle. Mm-hmm. We blitz over the middle. They blitz us, and we got 4 dudes going wide or way downfield, like long plays, and really nothing short over the middle. Blew my mind. It really did blow my mind. With that, this is the play where it is a nice play. We got 3 wide. They put Lockett in motion to come a little bit tighter. They run like a little crossing patterns here, and There's a blitz. Kyle Hamilton, which the Ravens are good at this, sneaks up at the very last second. Charbonnet makes a nice block, slides over because he's like kind of offset with Geno and shotgun. Makes a timely block, gives Geno enough of a window. Geno puts a dime right into the hands of our boy. Here we pull it up on screen. JSN, the 20th pick overall, first rounder. He bobbles it. I know it's just a bobble, but it's a big one, Brandon. We punt as opposed to just, we're at the 40, as you can see here, be at the 39-yard line, first down. Let's go. This game started fine. Defensively, we started pretty darn good.
Yeah.
We made stupid mistakes like this. Sorry, JSN. You gotta wear this out, man. Like, you have to make this catch out number one.
It makes sense to go here first just because it was so early in the game, and it ended up being impactful because you make this third down conversion, maybe you start to roll on offense a little bit. We heard from Pete Carroll on his coach's show on Monday talk about how, because he was asked, why they didn't get more tight end sets into the game. And apparently you have to make first downs first to bring in extra tight ends. I didn't know it was some kind of NFL rule that you to find the reinforcements, like the tight ends can't come in until after you get at least one first down. I learn new things about football from Pete Carroll all the time, and that was one of them.
That's a nifty rule I've never heard. Yeah. So it's kind of like an eligible man. Like, you've got to you could only put him in after you earn a first down chip, and then they got to report to the ref. Yeah, eligible.
It's like leveling up in a video game. Like, you have to get so many points before you can before you can hit the unlock menu for the 2 and 3 tight end sets.
Yeah, so frustrating that this is games ago now, where against the Bengals, where we went heavy 11 personnel. And we're all like, ooh, maybe a week or two too soon to get away from 12 and 13. And then, we see it again, just very little 12 and 13, very little usage of the middle of the field. And as we're talking about an out for JSN, whatever, a double out for Waldron, it's deserved. All right, we're going to be quick and pithy. We do have some good things to look at. Let's hit that whammy. Let's get on to the first hit, actually. And we're going to be quick and pithy because who the heck wants to talk about this game for too much longer, right? So, but there was some good stuff. There was some good, Brandon. I swear by it. In Q1, 3:36 to go. It's a 0-0 ball game still. This game was 0-0 after the first quarter. Our defense played good, really well in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10, Ravens at the Ravens 19-yard line. You got Lamar in shotgun. And I'll bring it up on screen here, a little thing in 3 parts. This was the Leo Williams breakout play. This was super nice, man. So it wasn't splashy in the sense that Leo Williams didn't get home for the sack or didn't get home for a sack. And in a 37-3 game, sometimes the defensive efforts like this are going to get lost. But I didn't go look at the PFF grades. I could just eye test. I would imagine Leo Williams, played it out pretty well PFF wise. And on this, okay, well, there you go. Well, good. That's at least pretty good there. And on this play, man, he blows up the left tackle. So who we got here? This is, it's 2 dudes. It's number 79, Ronnie Staley, 8-year veteran, their left tackle, and their guard, Kevin Zeitler, number 70. And you can kind of see it on the progression there. He's in the mucky muck in the first one. The second one, that's Staley with his butt going to the ground. Williams just destroys him, runs right through him. And then he's about to get his hands in Lamar's face. The thing is, Lamar's Lamar. And so Lamar escapes this, and it becomes like a 5-yard run. Frank Clark gets a tackle downfield, which, by the way, against Lamar, a broken play like that, you kind of sign up for a 5-yard run. Like, it's not third down, right? So you're like, that's pretty good. Leonard Williams was disruptive. He did play well. He played pretty good against the run. I liked what I saw. This is a play where he's destroying 2 humans in one swoop, and that's the kind of play that we could expect, a couple times a game from Williams. So big number 99, first in for our Seahawks. And I was at least happy to unearth this and say, all right, that was some early goodness on this trade, Brandon.
Also, to Draymond Jones, this is why you give up number 55. It's because of this show right here. Clinton is so used to Frank Clark being in number 55, he just gave Frank your credit for your tackle. So maybe you should be the one, Draymond, to switch to number 57.
Oh, you know what? You're right, because in this play, it's actually Frank Clark who whips. You are 100% correct. So Frank Clark charges up, has a shot at Lamar, like really close to the line.
Yep.
And Lamar jukes him. 100% correct. Frank Clark gets juked. Draymond gets the tackle from behind for 5 yards.
And Frank still gets the credit because you won't change your number.
Fair is fair. All right. Big number 99, Leo. He gets the in. Let's whammy. Well done, brethren. Well done. I enjoy that. Not going to enjoy this one. I will tell you that right now. This one that we just enjoyed, savor it, because it's all downhill from here. Q2, 9:59 to go. It's only a 7-0 game still. It's only 7-0. This is 5 minutes to go and 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. 7-0 Ravens, 2nd and 8. Seattle's on Seattle's 39-yard line. There were chunks where we were around the 40. We'd crossed the 50. We get a penalty. We get a sack. We're back. Just could not kind of get over that hump to get into red zone in this game really at all. You got Geno in shotgun. You got K9 in the backfield with him. You got 11 personnel out there, but Colby is also in a slot position. So it's really like having 4 wide anyway.
Right. And
I'll pull it up here. So what we end up with, man, is, oh man. So I'll just put the graphic up, because this, if I were to say to you that I think is it Owe? O-W-E-H?
Yeah.
Owe. Okay. So the big man, number 99 from the Ravens right there, Owe. If I were to, so the dude that you can't see right behind Owe, but you see the helmet, that's K9. He's coming in to kind of chip and do a little something. You got Delu sliding over with a little force. He's doing a little Jedi mind trick on Owe. That didn't work, by the way. And I'm not sure what Cross is doing. He's not using his left hand. I can tell you that much.
The left hand is definitely down at his side.
Yeah. This must be one of those power-ups where you have to play well the play before so you can use both hands. He's putting a slight shoulder into Owe, and this play results in Owe breaking through 3 dudes. There's 3 Seahawks on him. He gets the sack. That's why I wanted to put this snapshot up there. The other parts of the line are doing their job.
Yeah, you got Evan Brown there stoning his guy. You got Phil Haynes on another man, and you got Forsyth there on the right side, which leaves 3 different guys to block Odafe Owe.
3 dudes to block 1 man. So this is not a Waldron problem. This is not one you could blame him on. This is strictly execution. This is really, really poor. I don't know exactly if it's one person's out. So they're all of them, all the outs. They've got to be able to take care of 1 dude. It is designed to do that. So take care of your guy. The fact that Owe gets the sack on this and it stalls us out, it's just poor.
This is a great idea. You can bang out all 3 outs on one play by giving it to Delu, to K9, and to Cross. Well done.
Well, if it could be one thing, be efficient. All right, let's hit that whammy, Brandon. Thank you. And a train keeper rolling. We're back on the inside, the fun side of the ledger. And again, it wasn't all bad. There was some good stuff. This is now Q2. It's still 7-0. 12:03 to go. It's the, Ravens. It's 1st and 10. Ravens are on the Ravens 41. So this is the play directly after Geno Smith threw the pick. And I read the stuff. Oh, Geno got crossed up with Lockett. They miscommunication. I don't know. Just maybe, but also like the ball's like 5-7 yards away from Lockett anyway. So I hopefully just a miscommunication, but didn't look like a good ball from Geno. It just is what it is. What I want to show here is another 3-part progression. The thing about this whole sequence that we're going to talk about is this is not the Mafe strip sack. 2 plays later is the Mafe strip sack. Why I want to bring this up is because Mafe, we think about the Seahawks. It's like, oh, do we have that Max Crosby? Do we have that Myles Garrett? Do we have that game wrecker. It's like it's one thing to have a Chris Clemens, a 12 sack guy, really good guy, but on his own, we still needed to go bring in some horses the next year. Just wasn't going to be the next level guy. And Chris Clemens was a darn good Seahawk, had a very, very good career. Love that dude, and Super Bowl champion. Love that guy. Mafe, this is 2 plays before he gets the strip sack. This is Mafe again, and a beautiful use of the hands. You can kind of see him here. Engages Staley. He gives him like a little Hassan chop right around Staley, and then it's speed around the edge. And by the way, this play results in like a 19-yard run from Lamar Jackson. But it's Lamar Jackson. This is a type of play. Even Romo was like, yeah, any other quarterback, this is a dude getting hit from behind.
Yeah.
This is a sack on any other quarterback in the NFL, any one of them. Lamar gets out. There's no help around the edge. But the point being, Brandon, is that Mafe, 2 plays later, gets the strip sack for his 6th in a row, right? To get to get the records and all that jazz, to tie the records. He's becoming a consistent problem. That's really good for our team. And I really wanted to call that out and share that with you.
The other cool thing about this play is, yes, he got the pressure on Lamar, but he also chased Lamar for 20 yards down the field. So, and that's 20 yards in actual, he probably ran 35 yards to chase Lamar down ultimately to make this tackle. And yeah, you'd like to see him make it in the backfield, but like you said, Lamar Jackson really, really fast, able to outrun a lot of different guys, but Mafe still able to track him down. The fact that he doesn't give up on the play is pretty amazing.
I love that. Love that you're calling that out. I mean, Mafe, he barely misses a sack. And again, any other dude on the planet who could also throw a football like decently, like quarterback wise, the dude's getting caught from behind. He's getting sacked. So
I think he had another running play too, where it wasn't the one where there was a missed tackle and Mafe made another tackle on the running back like 20 yards downfield, where it's like, this is not an area where your defensive end should be making plays. And yet here's Mafe again.
Yeah, you don't want to be racking up the solo tackle prop bets 20 yards downfield with your defensive edges. But when you lose 37-3 and you take bad angles and you miss tackle and you make some business decisions as the game wore on, you kind of do get that. But let us not turn an in into an out. Instead, let's just say, good job, Mafe. You are turning into a monster. We love that. That's going to pay dividends as the year rolls on. We'll roll on. Let's hit that whammy. Let's do it. Oh, that one had some pep. I don't know about. I think you changed the tempo.
Yeah, juiced that one up.
You goosed it. You goosed it. Love that. Again, we're not going to love this. We're not. The joke's so nice. We had to say it twice. All right, out. Q2. 38 seconds to go. It's a 14-3 ball game. It's like, I know it didn't feel so good, but we get the big play to DK on the crosser. We stall out. I mean, Geno missed DK in the end zone. And by the way, 54% pressure rate. I am not on the Geno has to go train at all. It's just, it makes no sense to me, Brandon. No sense whatsoever. And he still missed DK on that slant in the end zone. He's open.
Yeah.
That's got to be in his chest for 6. But it wasn't our day. So it is what it is. This one, Q2, 38 seconds to go, 14-3 Baltimore. Now we're in 3rd and 21, right? This is after after we get the ball back. This is after OBJ fumbles and Trey Brown makes a great play. At the very least, we want to be at 14-6 going into halftime. We know it goes the exact opposite way. 3rd and 21. Seattle's on our own 46 now, which is bad. And what I want to bring up here is, look, I hate to be double dipping on Charles Cross, but I have to. Kyle Van Noy speed rushing Charles Cross and beating him to the edge on a 3rd and 21.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't Micah Parsons. It's just like, it's not. Kyle Van Noy's had a very good career. He's a good NFL veteran football player. Speed rush is not exactly his thing, though, Brandon. Savvy, real good tackler, just smart dude, great defender in his own right. Speed rush ain't his thing. Watching our first round draft pick in year 2, halfway through the season, get just beat around the edge in a speed rush by Kyle Van Noy in an obvious passing situation. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Whereas what Mafe's putting on tape is like, ooh, this dude's is emerging. I don't love maybe a bit of a regression from what we're seeing from Cross. And I know it's a tough game, and in one game does not make a season, nor does it make a career. A tough day for Cross. He's going to wear at least another out here for at least an out and a half. So Cross giving up the big sack to Van Noy when that just should not happen, man.
Yeah, well, I guess couple the third of an out to Cross earlier with I would give Cross a half an out here and give the other half to Geno for awareness. Because especially when I see this graphic, like, is there no awareness that Geno, with two of his left side of his line essentially out of his field of vision, that he doesn't have any kind of awareness to maybe step up a little bit and move into that space created there. And maybe I'm missing part of the picture zoomed out, but I think maybe we give some of this to Geno too.
There is space to move up. That is, you're factually correct. Because again, you got Evan Brown doing his work and Phil Haynes. Hey, when they double team somebody, the dude's 3 yards away from the quarterback. So let's try that. With that though, it is just a still shot. So Van Noy is on him really quickly. Yeah. And Cross is not washing him like wide either. That's the other thing. He's not deep. He's not like taking a long circumference route to Geno. This is a pretty tight angle where he's just straight up beat off the edge, and he's on Geno like lickety split. So I hear what you're saying with this particular thing. And yeah, could he just tuck it and run? He could, but the thing is, it's 3rd and 21. And I think trying to go first read here, probably just trying to see, hey, can we go get 16 yards? Just get back to like the 40 and then go get back to like the 37 or something like that and go give Myers a chance at a long field goal. It's probably what the play was trying to do. Never gets a shot there. So he's wearing that last out. Not a good day for that for our team, but we do have one more in. So let's whammy before we get to from the flock.
Sorry, Charles. I tried to help you to whittle you down from 1.3 to 0.83 outs. I couldn't do it.
Nope. Yeah, the math was not checking out. It was a tough day.
I think I nailed it though. I feel like I got pretty close.
Yeah, I think the math is on. Yeah, I wouldn't question you in math. You got that. All right. In Q3, 13:37. It's 17. It can't be 17:13. This is just me wishing I wrote 17:13. It was never that. So it must be 17-3. It's a 2nd and 6. Ravens are at Seattle's 29-yard line. You got Lamar in shotgun, Justice Hill off his hip. And what happens on this play is you got Justice Hill going out on a wheel route. So it's kind of cool. You see it develop. We could see it when we're watching it live, because it's still kind of tight to the formation. So you can see Justice Hill go out, and you can see number 56 right there. And at first, Jordan Brooks is kind of flat-footed because he's just recognizing that, oh crap, he's on a wheel route. Justice Hill tries to do like a little okey doke as he's trying to pass Brooks, and Brooks opens up his hip. And I'll just bring this up on screen to kind of showcase where it ends up. So this is at the very end of deflection. Beautiful play by Jordan Brooks to go from, I got to recognize, okay, Justice Hill's my guy. He's on a wheel route. He's trying to juke him, and then open his hips and then run downfield with a fast back. The ball's right there. And Brooks gets his hands in there for a breakup. It is beautifully executed. So again, in a game where there's a ton of crap in a 37-3 loss, there were still really good moments of defense in this game. Not so much offense. That just wasn't there. There were good pockets of defense early, and the defense hung in. We gave them the last field goal at the end of the half, right? Because we end up with the strip sack, and then basically Tucker hits a pretty long one. Cool. So instead of it 14-6, it's 17-3. Great. They drive to open it up, but Brooks makes this play on 2nd down. We stop him on 3rd down. Tucker gets another field goal. I think they get 3 field goals in a row to start the half. A little bit of a hat tip that the Seahawks defense, while we had some problems, this was not on them. And Brooks was a shining example of that, Brandon. So just want to give some love to Jordan Brooks. Dude's still playing a great season. This is a tough play to cover a speedy back out of the backfield. He does it exceptionally well. Big in for Brooks.
I really want to take exception to the comment you made about the defense not being the problem, or a big part of the there is a big part of the problem with the defense. But this is an in. I'm glad you gave credit to Brooks, because one thing about this play that they run to Hill, they being the Ravens, they beat everybody with Hill running this wheel route. And so watching back at some of the Ravens games, this was a play I was really concerned about them deploying to beat Seattle. And the fact that it was Jordan Brooks getting this, being back there, defending this play. And really, Jordan Brooks on the day, 10 tackles, 5 stops. He blew the rest of the team out of the water in terms of the number of stops that he had. So I'm glad we're giving Jordan Brooks the in here.
Oh, good. We'll leave the other stuff. It'll probably come up in the Discord as we go through from the flock anyway. I'm just saying, if you had to pick, if there is a raging yang to the sober yin, the defense, I know it's 37 points, but I also never got to watch the last 10 minutes because it got taken up my screen.
It's fine.
I didn't need to. I just, it was 0-0 after one quarter, so it's like we were there.
Yeah.
We at halftime, we had 2 turnovers at that point already, so it's like, that's what I mean. It's like the defense played well enough for long enough that if we execute a little bit on offense, we're in the game at least. But that didn't happen. So it is what it is. However, so Brandon, we don't win. There is no Brandon.
No.
There is the 3D printer gets to take a week off. Probably could use it, just cool the jets a little bit, right? So give it a little time to relax, open her up, a little fresh air, a little Montana air, get her ready for next week, we hope. With that, even though we might lose some segments when we lose, we never, ever lose the From the Flock segment. That is our Discord firing in with their ins, their outs. Before we hit it though, Brandon, how can people become a part of not just the Discord, but a part of the flock?
If you want to become a member of the flock, you can go to getintheflock.com. That'll take you to our Patreon page. And if you want to get into the Discord, you can join at $3 a month and above. And yes, you're not limited to picking any certain number. You can put in your own number if you want. And we encourage that because, pick a number that's meaningful to you. And once you join in, you get an invite to our Discord. You join us there. You hop into the 3 in, 3 out Discord, and you leave your ins and leave your outs throughout the game, after the game, however you want to do it. It's up to you. If you don't understand by now, we're very flexible on this sort of thing. We just want to hear from you.
So value for value flock. So we're very, very flexible and always grateful when we get brand new members of the flock, which is every single week. Even Brandon, even in the loss, the live reaction show had almost 9,000 views. And that blew my mind. Yes, I know some Ravens fans glommed onto it, but 9,000 people tuned in. I guess misery does love company, Brandon.
And if you do get in the flock, you can afford to start the video on time and not, waiting until the From the Flock segment.
Right. That's something you could do. All right. So we
had to cut corners somewhere this week.
So someone who never cuts corners ever, especially in the Discord, always showing up, of course, is Car. She was feeling what I was feeling. She starts us with an out, fittingly, says JSN needs to catch that. Instead, we start with a 3 and out against the killer Ravens team. Car was on it early. Our team was not on it often, Brendan.
Design Pete's Beach House with the first in, and crediting Derek Hall with a tackle for the loss.
Yes, that was an in on my sheet that didn't quite make it into the 3, but there was a really nice TFL by Derek Hall. So great call by Amy. We got more outs than ins today, folks. It just is what it is. The biggest little flocker out, massive out for play calling in the first half. Offensive line is struggling, and 3 batted down passes. That's correct. Why not get the pocket moving and get Geno on the move? I'd say really good questions. Really good questions.
It was a good question. They did try it toward the end of the game. It didn't work out either, unfortunately. The biggest little flocker also giving it out to Woolen again for tackling, wrap up, And it wasn't just Woolen. Clinton, this is what I was referring to earlier.
Oh, I know.
Missed tackles on the day for the defense. 23.
Oh, oh,
23 missed tackles by the Seahawks defense. And it wasn't just 1, 2, or 3 players. It was a multitude of guys on defense missing tackles. You have to have that to get to 23. In fact, the most anyone had was 3. So divide that up, your 1s and 2s amongst everybody else. And that's just an unbelievable number to me.
it's egregious, and the only gift that comes to mind is Kevin McAllister from Home Alone when he's like looking at the picture and goes woof. Right, so that's a big woof. All right, we got Josh DeHuman in the Discord. He also picked it up in Leonard Williams providing pressure in the first half on Lamar. Yeah, again, number 99, good debut in an otherwise rotten day.
Carr with the out. Painful watching our offense on the field. It was pain throughout the entire afternoon.
Yeah, we're going to go down to Flocktimus Prime, Mr. Keith Ketover, of course. He goes out. Waldron has no answers. And again, for me, Brandon, no plan to use the middle of the field. Very frustrating.
That was the power up after the tight ends. After the first down, you power up to get your extra tight ends. Then once you get your tight ends to get a first down, then you power up to the middle of the field. And you got to activate these in order.
I hear that, but I thought the first power up, like when you get to the first Mario level and you get that first easy mushroom, was that Charles Cross could use his left arm. I thought that was the first, but that's okay. We're semantics, right?
Right. We got Casey Hawk out. So pathetic a performance that CBS switched the feed from Golden Boy Tony Romo to a Chicago Bears game.
Oh, he's right. he's absolutely right about that. All right, we got the spy who spooned me. Love that. Looking forward to the ins this week. I need something positive to focus on. I hear you. Hopefully the 3 ins we ran through gave a little bit of a glimmer, especially that Mafe one. Mafe is a monster, and we got one. That's good.
Right hand Dan giving the in to a point that was a player who got some heavy focus in this game. Michael Dixon in going to Dixon for being a good punter.
Yeah. He did good things. Nice. Got the ball like the 3-yard line one time, like the 60-yard punt by the Aussie. Good job. Red Wagon, the in. Maybe a little cheeky, says, got my yard work done. So he was able to get outside and probably just call it quits at about 10 minutes to go in the third quarter and just get outside and enjoy the outdoors. So a gift from our Seahawks.
I always enjoy that approach. Whenever our Seahawks had a bad day, that was my cue to make sure and get something done around the house. Cause then you feel good about, hey, it didn't go great for the team, but I got started on something I needed to get done around the house. And now I feel good about me.
I like that. Smart.
Jay in Alaska in. We waited to the week after we wore our throwbacks to play like the 90s Seahawks.
Hey, these are great. Another good point. This is cathartic. I don't know why I'm over-pronouncing that, but either way, good job by Jay. That's correct. Remember, we got the throwbacks one more time this year. Already announced that when we travel down to Dallas, that'll be throwback part 2, which is really cool. All right, we're going to go to Rising Hawkra in. Not showing the league how dominant the 12 and 13 personnel packages are and saving them for the playoffs. So very sneaky. I think they are underestimating the sneakiness there, Brendan.
You got to get to 10 wins to activate those.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Hawk Van Dyke with the in. Game was on Sky Sports in the UK, so DAZN couldn't show it, and I didn't have to watch it.
Saved by the bell on that one. Genebo in. This is a good call. Jamal played with a lot of heart, even at the end. Jamal was like 2 or 3 times on my initial ledger of plays that he could have been called out for. So picking Jordan Brooks and saying that was a great play, guess what? Jamal Adams had at least 2 to 3 where, again, he's around the line of scrimmage or covering a dude deep or just bringing his hat. Even in a game where we're getting blown out, Adams was in this the entire time. So that's a great call by Jimbo.
And maybe a good one to end on here with Hawk Van Dyke giving himself and his rested team theory the out. Because the Baltimore Ravens, they showed that as many weeks as they've been traveling, they were not slowed down.
No, I will say that the Ravens fans that were like, oh, they seem pretty cocky. It turns out they were just right, right? So there's a difference between cocky and right. And then the ones that did come in and comment, you got some folks, of course, they're passionate fans. It's a good fan base celebrating. A lot of people were commenting like, hey, you know what? You guys are a good team. You just ran into us at a time where we're kind of peaking. So I was, kind of gracious by these Ravens fans. So that was kind of cool, which kind of it was kind of the same tone you actually heard from Pete Carroll when he was talking about Harbaugh and talking about yeah, there's a lot of respect for this team. That's a good organization. So they beat us and they beat us. They whipped us. They whipped us badly. The ins and the outs that came from the flock, very, very helpful. At least gave us a chuckle and a good laugh. Hey, we got this part on camera. So there's that too, Brandon, which would be nice. And with that, Brandon, I think we can now officially turneth the page and we can get focused on the Commanders. We could get back home. As I said on the post game live reaction, hey, we didn't sustain major injuries in this game. Sometimes you take the licking of the year and 2 or 3 dudes are like done for weeks on end or out for the year. That was not the case. Pete saying Abe might practice this week. That's awesome. We're actually still pretty healthy. Sam Howell takes a lot of sacks. Sam Howell takes a lot of chances. This is a better Commanders team than I think people think, even though they sold the farm a little bit. I don't think it's an easy win. I don't think we could just, just chalked it up and don't think we got to show up. It is a game to get right on, though. It is a game to get this offense right on. I will be looking forward to that. We got more coverage coming up this week on the Seahawkers Podcast Network, Brandon, and it's just it's a get right week. So, Brandon, are there things you're going to do personally so that you could help us all get right? What are you going to do, Brandon?
Yeah, I bought a new hat this past week, so I did my part. I'm not going to wear this same hat for this game coming up. It's time to move on from that. A new hat, new life, new win coming up this Sunday against the Washington Commanders.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.